so much for joining us. I'm Felicia Lawrence here with meteorologist Sean Ash, and it is yet another hot one, but that's nothing new. We're all used to that by now. But today, it's also going to be a wet one.
Yeah, in parts of the state here, and I think a little more numerous around the metro area. So a lot of folks have kids in camps, practices, things of that nature. Maybe you're trying to squeeze in some golf this afternoon. Good luck on that. But be weather aware because the storms are going to start popping here over the course of the next couple of hours. Let's show you some of the heat indices. Oh my goodness, 102 now at the Indy Airport, 102 Eagle Creek, 109 at Fishers, and Avon checks in at 108. So these are some of the highest values around the metro area that we've had during this heat wave, which now we're in day 5 straight here. 104 in Shelbyville. Now, I do want to show you the dew points that we have, about as bad as they'll get around here. We're talking middle and upper 70s. That's extremely humid air. That is rainforest type of mugginess, and it will fuel some thunderstorms, some of which will be very heavy in nature here. And I'm circling this zone right now. There's a stalled outflow boundary from some storms from earlier this morning, and it's stalled right along I-70. You can start to see some clouds flaring up here in the last few frames of the satellite animation. So I think the storms become a little more numerous around the metro area. And from probably in the next hour, we're going to see some of these things popping up, and they will be locally heavy. A lot of lightning with them, possibly some severe wind gust as well. So we want you to be weather aware, not only from the heat, but also from some of these thunderstorms. Buckle up. We got more storms in the forecast, more heat too. When it will break coming up here in a few minutes with the 7-day.
All right, Sean, good to be prepared. Thank you. And Indianapolis City County Councilor Krista Carlino is no longer a member of the Democratic Party, the Democratic Caucus. This is after fellow members of the caucus voted to remove her. That's according to City County Councilor Ron Gibson. Carlino is one of the councilors who called for Mayor Hocksett's resignation after a law firm released a report on the investigation into sexual harassment allegations. Well, the investigation was into the mayor's former Chief of Staff and Campaign Manager Thomas Cook. He says the caucus would consider reinstating her if she would come out with a public apology regarding her statements about the council president and vice president. And according to Gibson, Councilor Carlino would not commit to that. So we have reached out to her for her response as well. We'll keep you updated on these developments online and tonight starting on 13 News at 4. Some big news here. The Indiana Fever are waiving DeWanna Bonner. She signed with the Fever as a free agent in the last offseason, but played in just 9 games before missing the last 5 for what the team called, quote, personal reasons. Bonner released a statement saying in part, quote, despite our shared goals and excitement heading into the season, I felt the fit did not work out. The team announced it's bringing back guard Ari McDonald to fill the roster spot. McDonald played in 3 games for the Fever earlier this season, while Caitlin Clark missed time with an injury. Remember, we are your local TV home for the Indiana Fever. You can see their July 3rd game against the Las Vegas Aces right here on WTHR. That game starts at 7. On to more news now. A former Ben Davis High School coach made his first court appearance this morning on child seduction charges. He's accused of having sex with a 16-year-old student at the school. Harrison Goss faces 5 charges of child seduction as a child care worker. Court records allege that Goss gave the girl rides home from track practice. The girl told police that Goss drove her to a Wayne Township Elementary School parking lot and they had sex in the backseat of his car. Goss was placed on leave in April when a friend of the girl reported the relationship to school officials. The school district says Goss has since been fired. Court records say that Goss also sent inappropriate text messages and photos to the girl. He is 26 years old. The judge set bond at $30,000. Goss's jury trial is scheduled August 25th. Turning now to an investigation where a missing person was found dead and someone else was found driving their vehicle. Anderson police tell us they got a report of a missing person Sunday. Later that day, officers found someone else driving that person's vehicle. They took the driver into custody on preliminary charges of auto theft and forgery. Detectives then searched an area in Madison County using a drone and found the body of who they believe is the missing person. No word on the cause of death or identity. The driver using the car, though, is being held in the Madison County Jail facing a murder charge. And a Kokomo woman is facing new allegations of animal abuse here in Indianapolis. In 2021, Crystal Scott served more than 2 years in federal prison for animal cruelty. Now she's facing trouble again after a dozen animals were found in a U-Haul, reportedly without food or water. Logan Gay talked with a man who says he helped lead investigators to that truck.
So they were truly on a spree, an evil spree.
Kyle Christine, his sister, and his neighbor can't get this video out of their heads. They say the footage taken on a Ring doorbell camera shows a woman and 2 other people late at night picking up a lost German Shepherd named Bruno. They say the 3 people claim Bruno was theirs, but you can see the dog resisting as they walk away.
I will never get over, and that's that dog being dragged to this van. I've watched it every day since.
Chrissy says he saw the red flags and had the group call the police before handing the dog over, but
there's not a whole bunch they could do because these people did have ownership of the dog, even though they'd only had it a week.
The pieces started coming together after the officer arrived.
While this scene is going on Wednesday night, the officer actually shares with us that they lived in these tents behind our house.
More digging, Chrissy says his sister did a reverse search on Crystal Scott's phone number, revealing Scott's real name and her past with law enforcement. They found Scott was previously sentenced in a case where she was accused of killing more than a dozen animals and posting the video on social media.
These are not good people, and we actually kind of could tell that just when they came out, and we didn't know they tortured animals. I mean, everything about their appearance screamed, get these people away from you.
So Chrissy's sister started a days-long search for Scott. His sister eventually found Scott's U-Haul in this Hardee's parking lot on East Washington Street. An IACS report says the truck smelled like dead animals. The report says IACS workers found 12 dogs and cats inside the truck with no food or water. It says the animals were standing in their own feces.
We thought there'd be 1 or 2 dogs in there. We were really hoping that that one of those dogs would be Bruno. And we see dogs keep getting out, and Bruno's not any of them.
Scott and the other 2 people eventually surrendered the animals. Now, Christy would like to know what happened to Bruno.
Legally, we might not have had anything to do, no options, but we still had that dog. I don't know how old Bruno was, but I think he probably was happy for about 2 hours of his life, and I think it's the 2 hours that he spent in Kara's house.
We reached out to IACS and IMPD about this case. When we hear back, we'll pass it along. In Indianapolis, Logan Gay, 13 News.
Artists visiting Indy for the Talbot Street Art Fair tell us someone took off with their truck and trailer, and they say it's worth tens of thousands of dollars. Jackie and Jerry Crable say this is about more than just money. The Crables live in Iowa and make their living now selling their metal works at fairs and festivals like Talbot Street. They say they were staying at a hotel on the northwest side when it happened. Jerry went outside and spotted broken glass, but no truck or trailer. They have a message for whoever drove away with their livelihood.
We're hoping that maybe if the guy's got the trailer, dump the stuff. Just push it off the side of the road, let us get it back.
Yeah.
And
take the rest.
Yeah, we need the contents. We've got stands in there that he made 30 years ago, that we've got the money box that Dad made, and Dad's gone.
They need their stuff back. So there is hotel security footage showing the alleged theft. The hotel would not share it with us, but the manager says it has been turned over to police. Anyone with information about the location of this truck and trailer is urged to call IMPD. And the Pacers are settling into the offseason, but we are getting fresh clarity on the true impact of just their incredible run in the playoffs. We're talking about 11 extra home games, crowds of thousands in downtown Indianapolis. They were in restaurants and bars across the city. And one of those restaurants is Tupelo Honey. It opened a couple of years ago along Alabama Street, not far from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. We talked to the general manager who says the basketball breakthrough was real.
Say that there was definitely a lot of first timers that came in, just because other businesses maybe where there was overflow, or they just happened to be walking by and decided, hey, this is close to the field house, let's go try them out.
But it wasn't just the food scene getting that postseason spark. According to Visit Indy, downtown hotels also saw a big boost, as did nearby attractions. And let's not forget all the blue and gold that we've seen over the last few months. There was a big demand for Pacers merch this season.